Feller. I'm the Chief Business Officer for the LBJ School. Welcome to our webinar on fellowships. We'll be talking about different types of fellowships that are awarded through the LBJ School. There may be other opportunities that you may wish to apply for at the university level or from external sources, but today we're going to focus on those awards that are made by the school itself. I have a slideshow presentation that we'll go through very quickly that contains a lot of the information you'll need to know. If you would, please hold your questions until the end of the presentation, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions that we can. So one moment, the slides will appear in just a second. Okay. So the first thing you'll want to know are the types of student fellowships that are available. We have three main types of awards. One is admissions fellowships. Those awards are made through the admissions process. You do not apply to them separately. They are awarded as part of the admissions process. The second are current student fellowships. Those awards are made after students begin their program here at the LBJ School. The third are internship and policy apprenticeship fellowships. Those are to help support you during your internships for expenses that you may incur. Let's walk through a few pieces of information that you'll want to know. First is the estimated tuition cost. So this is an estimate of the cost of various programs, resident and non-resident, for DC concentration, MPATH, MGPS, and PhD programs. Please note that if you are considering a dual degree program, that the cost can vary significantly. So you'll want to look at some of the resources we have online, and I'll touch on those in just a moment. Let's see. And this is a link you can go to see what the cost of your tuition would be based on your residency status, in-state or out-of-state, and the number of hours that you are planning to take. There is also a link on this page to tables for dual degree programs. One of the opportunities we have, if you are awarded a competitive scholarship, is an out-of-state tuition waiver. We have a limited number of these awards, but for those who are not residents of the state of Texas or entitled to resident tuition, these can significantly reduce the cost of your program. Here you'll see that for an out-of-state tuition for 12 hours of coursework in one semester, the cost is approximately $11,000. An in-state tuition waiver lowers that cost to approximately $5,780. Again, admissions fellowships are made during the admissions process. So you won't submit a separate application for admissions awards. Those will be evaluated during the admissions process. You do need to make sure that you have a complete application on file in order to be considered for those awards when they go into the admissions evaluation process. Once you arrive on campus, we also have awards that you can apply for. These are our current student fellowships. You'll notice that we have several different opportunities available, and I'd like to highlight a few for you. The first is the Barbara Jordan Professional Development Fund. This fund is designed to offset the costs associated with academic and professional experiences. So, for example, traveling to a conference or interviews, or for software to support research endeavors, use of information and telecom technologies, publication of selected professional reports, and expenses like this. Individual students can receive up to $250 annually until the funds are exhausted. That is for master's students. For PhDs, it's slightly more. It's up to $600 per year. We also have the Barbara Jordan Excellence Fund. This supplements the professional development funds that are available, and they are used to afford unique opportunities to students. For example, you might apply for this award if you were presenting a paper to a conference, if you were presenting at a foreign country's legislature, or were selected for a prestigious award like the Forbes 30 Under 30, presenting at NASPA or APAM to professional conferences. Expenses along these lines can be requested from that Barbara Jordan Excellence Fund. We also have the Academic Competitive Scholarship and Tuition Waiver Program. So this is an award you can apply for. The amount is $1,000, and for non-residents, they also have the opportunity to apply for an out-of-state tuition waiver. There are other fellowships that are available based on your policy area of interest, and I encourage you to look at our website, the Office of Graduate Studies website, and other UT department websites for opportunities that may be available. The third type of funding we have is for your internships and policy apprenticeships. So all non-DC master's students, including students in dual degree programs with LBJ, are required to work a 400-hour internship unless you are approved to be waived from this requirement. DC concentration students are required to work a policy apprenticeship in DC during their last 2 semesters. Currently, there are over $250,000 in fellowship funds available solely for the purpose of awarding internship and policy apprenticeship fellowships. These fellowships do have specific criteria and eligibility requirements, and students have to apply for the fellowships for which they are eligible. So this is one of the awards that you will have to submit an application for. You may be eligible for a fellowship even if you secure a paid internship. Each year, the fellowship committee will meet to decide on the award sizes and the parameters based on the number of students eligible for internships, their policy areas, and the number of students applying. Since students secure their internships at various times, awards are granted on a rolling basis, with the first reviews normally happening in April, although applications are accepted throughout the year. In the event someone wants to, for example, work with a legislative session or secures an internship during the year other than during the summer months. Funds are awarded until they are exhausted. Please note that there is no guarantee that every student will receive an award for their internship, whether it is paid or unpaid. Those are the 3 key types of fellowships that we have. We are very fortunate that our friends and alumni have been very generous in providing these awards. And so we require that any recipient prepare a thank you letter to the donors to acknowledge that support and provide them with a little bit more information. It is required as part of your award. There are some other opportunities to fund your education. Those are via employment on campus. There can be tuition reductions along with salary associated with teaching assistant and graduate research assistant appointments. Those would be, you would be advised of those awards or those reductions in cost when you are offered a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship. There are part-time employment opportunities outside of UT. Our office cannot assist with financial aid in the form of grants or loans, but please make sure to visit the UT Financial Aid website for more information about those opportunities. And you may also want to look into the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. We have an office, the Fellowships Office, that is responsible for supporting you during your fellowship or during your time at the LBJ School. And this office provides information about our fellowship opportunities and will be available to answer questions that you may have. So I'm going to turn off the slideshow and we can move on to questions. Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name's Laura
Please
Roach.
feel free to chat any questions you may have. For your reference, our fellowships email account is lbjfellowships@austin.utexas.edu.
Hi, Amy. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I apologize. I was muted.
This is Laura, one of the grad coordinators here for everyone's reference, and I'm going to read your questions off to Amy. Taylor says, hi, are all part-time jobs at UT eligible for tuition reduction waivers?
No, only designated positions are eligible. These are generally teaching assistantships and graduate research assistantships. The graduate research assistantships and teaching assistantships that are 10 to 15 hours a week have a smaller tuition reduction benefit. So that's a little bit of a reduction in the tuition you would pay. 20-hour per week teaching assistantships or research assistantships might have a reduction to resident tuition and a stipend towards your tuition reduction. So a little bit of money to help reduce that cost of tuition.
Great, thank you. The next question says, thank you for this webinar. For out-of-state students, should we apply for the tuition waiver program before we are admitted?
No. All awards for entering students are managed through the admissions fellowship process. So during the admissions process, applications are evaluated, and any students who are awarded a fellowship and are eligible for an out-of-state waiver and awarded an out-of-state waiver will receive their award that way. So you don't need to do an application before you arrive on campus. Now, once you are on campus, that's the point at which you may want to consider applying for the Academic Competitive Scholarship and Tuition Waiver Program.
Great. Mary Kate says, is there a central place to look at available assistantships, or do you look department by department?
Assistantships are managed by the different departments at the university. So for example, if you're interested in business and you have a background where you might be an eligible teaching assistant over in business, those departments would manage their employment opportunities. Within the LBJ School, any employment opportunities would be, OSA actually acts as the central hub for those opportunities and disseminating that information to students.
Mary Kate, again, this is Laura. I'll answer your question a little bit further to go off of what Amy's mentioning. Our career resource specialists here at the LBJ School do a great job. We have an internal job board, LBJ Careers, through the platform of Handshake, where we post jobs that come our way, as well as Hire a Longhorn. We direct students to use that where they can find all kinds of on-campus jobs. And we also encourage students, again, like Amy mentioned, if there was a department you might want to work in, to reach directly out to that department for available opportunities. Amy, can you give an example or two of what students might use the Professional Development Fund for?
Sure, the professional development funds can be used for a variety of expenses. Frequently, that will be used for travel to conferences or travel to an interview. For example, if you are interested in working in DC and we're located in Austin, you may request professional development funds to offset the expense of airfare up to the DC area. You could also use them for materials towards your professional development or your career opportunities. For example, getting headshots or getting business cards.
Thank you.
We do have, oh, go ahead, Laura.
Nope, that I was just doing an all call to see if we have any other questions from our fellow participants. Make sure to type them or feel free to unmute yourself. Let's see, Taylor says, is funding first come, first served, or is there funding usually available for students who apply in March?
So we'll have the most funding available at the beginning of the process in December. Funding may be available throughout the process, but I would encourage you to get your applications in as quickly as possible.
How will students be informed if they're awarded a fellowship?
If you're awarded a fellowship, you'll be notified in a letter from the school that outlines the award that you've received, the amounts, and the type of awards you receive. So let me expand a little on that. There are a few different ways that you may receive support through the fellowship programs. One is the out-of-state tuition waivers that we mentioned before. That's applied directly to your tuition bill so that when you see your bill, the cost goes from the non-resident rate to the resident rate. That's automatically applied to a bill if you're awarded an out-of-state tuition waiver. You may also receive a tuition stipend. Tuition stipends are applied directly to your fee bill and paid directly to the university on your behalf. So that money is never sent directly to you. That money goes straight on as a reduction to your fee bill. If you receive a stipend fellowship, that is a cash award made to the student themselves. Those awards are processed after the 12th class day, and they are paid directly to the student into their bank account. Packages may include any number of these combinations. Some do have tuition awards, some have stipend awards, some have both. It just varies based on the package. So you'll want to pay very close attention to the table that would be in your offer if you receive a fellowship award.
Great, thank you, Amy. Do we have any other questions? This is all such great information. We appreciate you sharing it with us today, Amy. Prospective students, don't forget to RSVP for our upcoming open house on November 12th and 13th. I'll be placing the RSVP link in the chat box. We hope to see you there. And again, thanks so much, Amy.
Thank you all, and we look forward to meeting you at the open house.
Everyone have a great afternoon.